Hello, who are you?
We are London Grammar.
So how does it feel to have a taste of a first number one with the Disclosure album yesterday?
Yeah, that's amazing. They're just absolutely smashing it. They just can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been excited about that for a while.
This inspires you to kind of go and do it, obviously, yourself for our own record and try and really.
It's funny. I didn't really think about it being like the first thing. I mean, honestly, it was essentially Hannah anyway. But it is weird that the first thing our names kind of gone to on an actual album that has gone to number one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good sign. Hopefully.
And how's your debut album coming along?
It's finished.
Finished? So have you been testing it all in the road, or are you keeping some of it hidden that we have to wait till September to hear?
Yeah, you have to wait for most of it.
We've been playing a lot of it, yeah, but in terms of actually showing it to people, it's pretty under lock and key, isn't it?
Is there a lot of fear that it might make its way onto YouTube and everybody will have heard the album by September? Or?
There was that fear with a couple of songs we were worried about. There's one in particular we were just banned from. Don't even try and get it out of me. There's one song we were just banned from playing or mentioning, and it's basically under lock and key.
So you've got an understanding as to how the industry works from the backside of things as well.
Yeah, we've learned a lot in the last 18 months, definitely.
Were there any big mistakes that you made along the way that you were like, we should have done that differently, or is it?
We definitely made a couple of mistakes, but they were mistakes that you could learn from that actually probably in the long run were a good thing. We're lucky in the sense that so far nothing's really gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
In terms of decisions, like since we've been in existence, everything's been fairly smooth.
Yeah.
I think everyone makes mistakes, and I think it's if you deal with them quickly. And we did have something with a video that almost went very wrong. The video that was made for Hey Now.
Yeah, probably should.
Yeah.
How do you feel about festivals that you don't get as much time to sound check and you've just got like a 45-minute slot or whatever?
That is difficult, especially with our setup.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, but it's such a good experience. Like in some festivals we've had, mistakes happen and things don't sound as good and there's feedback from the microphone. Then you learn to deal with all those things, and you need that.
You're very cool with it though, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprisingly okay. Like at Rock Nest, my mic lead came out the microphone, and that is really embarrassing. But you just deal with it. It's fine.
It's just like it's completely natural. It happens to the biggest bands at festivals. It's just the way it is. I remember seeing Chili Peppers in 2008 at Reading, and that was like Anthony Kiedis stormed off stage because the sound was so messed up, and Chad and Flea ended up chatting a jam. But it's like they're the headliners of a festival, and it happened to them. Like, it can happen to anyone. It's just there's no organisation is on its tightest.
But the good thing as well about festivals is the audience, I feel, just come with you no matter what.
Yeah.
They just want to have a good time, and it's usually a little bit drunk, a party. Whereas in a London intimate show, there is a level of expectation.
Yeah. Well, I have seen you at a London intimate show, and I was really impressed as to how much the audience knew your material. How do you feel as a singer when sometimes you potentially hear people singing louder than you can hear yourself?
I did find that quite emotional, actually, both occasions when that's happened. Just because I, at that time, was getting really, really, really nervous, and to have that makes it, it's all worthwhile.
Yeah.
He's gone to a fair few places now. People have been singing the lyrics.
Well, even at Rock Nest, there were some Scots in the front row.
It is
crazy.
That's what sort of national radio play can do. It just takes you up the country, but it has been quite fun. There's Nottingham, Bodega. There's just these two guys like
lads,
they're hilarious, the two of them, and they clearly had a few drinks, and they were just singing "Wasting My Young Years" back at Hannah. It was just this passion. It was really nice.
Do you spot the audience and do you see what's happening?
You can feel pockets of audience.
Yeah. Or is it more the first couple of rows, or can you see out into?
You just sort of zone. What I always find is I'm zoning out into an area of a crowd, and then I'll sort of focus and be like, "Oh, I've just been looking at that person." And therefore, sometimes they've been looking at, "Oh, I see, looking at that."
Hannah has it the hardest because Hannah has to go. I'm
looking in everyone's eyes the whole time. You look at the guitar, you can. You're
I
so
just look
busy.
out. Right? I do just look out. Then.
Do you not find the eye contact thing off-putting, or is that what makes you feel?
Yeah. That's what is so terrifying about being a singer, is that you can't just, concentrate on, look at your vocal cords because they're inside you. You have to convey
Yeah.
to
You see
each
whatever.
individual person, and you do. You know, they say before going on stage, my mum's like, it's fine. You won't even know that the audience are there because of the lights, and you can see everyone.
Yeah.
You can see every person, lots of reaction, and
I don't think it gets more difficult when it is more intimate in that sense, isn't it?
yeah, probably.
Like
But
when we did Leeds, you're in front of like more than 1,000 people, it kind of gets a bit more.
yeah, yeah. But then if it's a good reaction, then
Yeah.
it's like the best feeling in the world.
And so speaking of reactions, have you been reading your own press?
Never.
Why not?
I've never read my own press. No, I read pretty much everything. Because
Yeah. How do you feel about this massive bubble around London? I mean, you guys are being touted as one of the big acts of 2013.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I can say it all the time, but I find it just fascinating to witness it from sort of first hand. Like particularly all the social media thing, because that's quite interesting. You can see the reactions so strongly on stuff like Twitter, and it's almost immediate. So you can, if you want to know how something was, you can just find out immediately. So it was that has been amazing, and I think we're all just very grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, I still feel really surprised when you say that we're being. I don't know, people
Yeah.
say they're one of the biggest sounds.
It still doesn't feel like
It just doesn't feel like on the
Yeah.
inside. It doesn't feel like that. The only
It's
tangible thing is when you do a performance.
I
of
think
it
by
as
the
well.
end of the festival circuit, it will feel more real.
Yeah.
It's the lead up to the album, like we said, it's only probably our 13th, 14th show yesterday, or weekend was our first proper festival. Like everything is still a first, so
Yeah.
it's impossible to really feel that stuff until we're more used to what's kind of going on. And then
Yeah. Did you see how the Guardian called you a PG rated version of the
Yeah.
XX? What did you make of that?
Oh, that was a scathing.
Oh, it's funny. We found out that we were going to be the new band of the day, and I had been waiting for it because I knew that he would have a dig at us.
Well, everything's like a 3-star review on there. and it's
He's
good.
he's very critical of some bands. Like I remember he criticised Alt J quite heavily for similar reasons to us, and I'm a massive fan of. We're all a massive fan of Alt J, so. But it's his
just
opinion.
happens,
It's
it's
cool.
natural.
Yeah, I thought quite likes it.
Great. Was anybody going to feature on the debut album, or is it just you three? And
It's just London Grammar.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel that it's inevitable that the album will most likely leak before it goes on sale on the day of release? How do you feel about the power of the internet?
happened at the Disclosure album
Well,
massively.
I think with us, the Disclosure record, I think had a unique amount of hype.
Yeah,
I can't see how our record would get leaked. Oh God, I just
how-
realised that.
How does it happen?
Yeah.
Is it
Well,
because
no,
people
yeah,
get?
how
Is it
does
because
it-
people get copies to
Everyone-
listen to preview it or
It's
something
the
like that?
internet.
And imagine how many reviewers and everyone
I
gets.
don't. You know what? I do worry because like there are demos of ours as well that are floating about probably on the internet. As in, like I've given them to
Yeah,
A long time ago.
And then it turns out that you bloody given them to
a
everyone.
long time ago. But like I suppose I didn't foresee the fact that people actually might want to buy our album at some point.
But if it's
so-
just your friends, they're not going to do
no,
that.
I'm sure it won't happen. But if it
Don't
does,
fall out.
if it does, it does. I suppose it
Yeah.
didn't do. Disclosure album didn't do them any harm. They've got #1 record this
And
week.
the thing, the way it is, like a leaked album is always more desirable than a non-leaked one. So it's not the end of the world. If people get hold of a leaked album, then they're like, oh, show it to everyone. And I think some people do leak stuff on purpose. So I'm sure we won't be doing that.
And you said Disclosure album went to #1. Is chart dominance on your mind as a band, or is it?
Not really. I can't see. I mean, we would like that. That would be
Cool.
amazing. But I don't think that our album will do that.
No.
Straight away. I think it's a grower. And
Yeah. Cool.
We were having this conversation the other day about how, say for example, Laura Marling, she had maybe not one top, 50 singles.
Oh,
or something.
singles.
And yet she's had all these top 10 albums, and I think that's what I'd quite like to see in the chart. I think we're hopefully more of an album type system.
Cool.
It's more to see the consistency. If it stays in like the charts and in iTunes, people constantly discovering it rather than it just going top 10 and then disappearing.
Yeah.
I'd rather it kind of just sort of.
we're taking ages to
Sorry.
answer each question, aren't we?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Have you So you said you've completed recording the album. Have you completed like artwork, track listing, name of title?
Not
We
quite.
haven't completed artwork. It's
Done
going to be
track
called
listing.
If You Wait. Done track listing.
And what's the album going to be called?
If You Wait.
Oh, okay, cool. And well, have you got an official release date? Is it just September at the moment?
It's looking like
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's
Well,
official.
well, wicked. I look forward in hearing it and seeing you live again and again. And thanks for taking the time out to chat today. Much
Thank you
appreciated.
very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.